New reports about a potential scandal that could impact Hillary Clinton's possible presidential run. The Washington Post is reporting that her nonprofit foundation, the Clinton Foundation, accepted millions of dollars in donations from foreign governments while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, saying in part, quote, "Rarely, if ever, has a potential commander-in-chief been so closely associated with an organization that has solicited financial support from foreign governments." Let's talk about it with Chris Wallace, the anchor of Fox News Sunday. The Post has been doing some pretty good digging on this story and found that there were even exceptions made to the rules, some that violated a rule that the Clinton Foundation had, an agreement with the Obama administration. Chris.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, John, and you're exactly right. Go back to 2008 when Barack Obama appointed Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. There was this concern that how could she be Secretary of State if the Clinton Foundation, her husband's foundation, was raising millions of dollars from foreign countries. And the agreement was reached that no country that hadn't already given money could give money. They couldn't, in other words, new countries couldn't do it, the concern being that they would be giving money in an effort to try to influence her and influence the State Department and U.S. policy. And there's at least one case, Algeria, which had not given money up to that point, that when she became Secretary of State, did give money to help with relief after the Haiti earthquakes. And it's not coincidental, because at that same time, Algeria was spending almost $500,000 lobbying the State Department and lobbying the Obama administration because of concerns about human rights in Algeria. So, the concern originally when they made this decision back in 2008 and set up these guidelines was the appearance of a conflict of interest. And now you see that maybe there was the reality of a conflict of interest.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second and just say what supporters of the former Secretary of State and the foundation are saying. They say, look, this is an organization that tries to do good. We try to, take care of children and education and fight, greenhouse gas emissions around the world. So if we're taking money for good causes, what's the harm?
Well, that's exactly the argument that I'm sure the Clinton Foundation and her supporters are going to make. On the other hand, as I say, this was a concern not of the right wing, not of Hillary haters. This was a concern of the Obama administration when they signed this. The head of the foundation and Valerie Jarrett, on behalf of the administration, signed this agreement. So they were obviously concerned about a potential conflict of interest. And as I say, in at least one case, the rules that they set up were violated when Algeria contributed money for the first time after she became Secretary of State. And again, as I say, at the same time they were lobbying the State Department because of concerns about how the U.S. was designating them on human rights lists. And that's obviously the concern, that these countries, and there were other countries with troubling problems like Oman, like Qatar, like Kuwait, that were contributing money to the Clinton Foundation at the same time that Hillary Clinton was the country's chief diplomat, and that those countries had interests in how the U.S. was going to be viewing them.
A potential line of attack for Republicans and possibly even other Democratic challengers as she gets ready to run for president. That's the assumption.